Alright, y'all. Howdy. Today we're going to be covering MAGA husband lunges to stop interview over wife's racist collapse. This is a little under an hour long. I'm not watching all of it. Alright, let's do this.
I'm curious what it's like to be in your head.
Yeah, I think it's a bunch of leftist propaganda.
I don't have to explain to you the meaning and history of that word. I think you understand why people take issue with it.
That's what they call themselves.
You just exhibited the principle I'm talking about.
Hey,
Does
that offend you?
I'm devastated.
All right, give me take a break.
I have something insane in store for you. But first, let me explain what you're about to watch, and then we'll dive into it. After witnessing the feedback to my conversation with right-wing influencers Isabella and Josiah Moody and feeling like I didn't address all that needed to be, I decided that it couldn't be our last discussion, so I reached out to them asking if they would sit down again, and this prompted an admittedly wild idea that has somehow come to fruition. More on that in a moment. As was abundantly clear throughout the first interview, we disagree on just about everything. And more than that, I frankly find much of what Isabella says and does on the internet to be disgusting and reprehensible, and maybe
Yeah, that's because it is disgusting and reprehensible. I am actually going to skip around until I can find... Wait, hold on.
directly engage with even extremely dangerous.
Alright, yeah, I'm skipping around until the actual interview portion.
Had more debates, I've realized seem to move the needle.
Alright, seems to be here.
Here, which is launching a new show, publish an episode on my channel where isn't, but we're gonna have time for me to comprehensively ideology. You won't like not your platforming. The good thing is that nothing's changing about my.
Alright, let's just. Are they. Right. Is this where it starts?
Yes.
I can't believe that you signed up.
Alright.
I am back with Isabella Moody.
Yes.
I can't believe that you signed up for round 2.
I can't believe you missed me so much that you wanted me to come back on. I mean, come on.
All right, let's get into it. Do you know personally this Lily Gaddis person?
I've seen her clips go viral on Twitter, and she also has a show on Compound Censored, Censored.tv, which I have as well. So that's pretty much it. I've DM'd her, but that's it.
Okay, so aside from the controversy that I've told my followers about with her before, I want to go through that, remind them of it, but then get to what I think is an absurdity of something you advocate and she advocates as well. And it plays into MAGA's just obsession with being the victims in their stories. So as a reminder, I think she was described as the N-word lady for some time, but she posted this video that caused the initial controversy.
Everybody I know who's married right now, they're married to broke-ass
Jesus Christ. I think this was posted on, I think this was posted on TikTok. I might be wrong about that. But Jesus Christ, she said that with her full chest. Christ on a cracker, honestly.
and they don't care. We don't give a about your money. I couldn't care less about your money, okay?
So on TikTok, that's against their terms of service. She was held accountable there for it, banned off of TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, she was banned. You can't just go saying the N-word on TikTok. Can't say it on YouTube. Can't say it. You shouldn't be able to say it anywhere. In my opinion.
And then she got fired because she was refusing, from my understanding, to apologize or walk back or anything. And she ended up posting this video and says why she doesn't have any remorse.
So a recent video of mine seems to have upset members of a certain community, and all the backlash just really made me, just really do a deep dive, like do a soul search. And after all that, I still couldn't find a care.
You're gonna call us racist? You're gonna call...
Jesus Christ. They really don't care if they are racist. Like, Republican voters, not all of them, but a lot of them will not care if they're being racist.
Call us.
Is this hashtag based to you?
So true, especially Andrew Breitbart. Like what he says right here is great.
Okay, let's listen.
Potential Timothy McVeigh's. You. War.
So let me ask you this.
I don't know. That's just a meme, right? Right here. And let's resume here.
Well, and then you have this quote on screen. Let me read it. If the First Amendment is intended to protect anything, it's intended to protect offensive speech. If you're not going to offend anyone, you don't need protection. I guess we can get into it. I have failed to explain to MAGA folks why I believe they shouldn't use the N-word. I don't know if we'll make progress on that, but I do want to get into, I agree with the quote here from Larry Flint, but y'all don't seem to understand it.
No,
But
you
first,
don't agree with it though.
okay, you want to start there, or do you have
Yeah,
anything to say on the controversy itself?
They just want to say the N-word. That's what they want to do. Republicans just want, MAGA in specifically, just wants to scream the N-word at the top of their lungs. That's what they crave. It's like, it's in their, like, their soul craves it. Right.
Yeah, no, what, you don't agree with that though. That's offensive speech and you have a problem with it.
What is
Dear
the First
MAGA
Amendment?
folk, we should not be using these certain words. Oh my gosh, it's so terrible.
What do you think the First Amendment says?
Okay, I don't know the
No,
exact...
you don't have to do the exact quote, but what's the spirit of it?
I mean, First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, freedom of the press. Is that all First Amendment? Like what?
I'm not trying to quiz you. I'm saying, of course, you're right to be an idiot. Lily Gaddis is right to be this victim in her story because everyone's against her because she's using racial slurs.
You think she thinks she's a victim right now?
Of course, her whole thing is I'm censored.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Barely. I haven't ever seen her say, oh my gosh, I'm so censored. She just doubles down. If she really was so upset about it, maybe she would apologize. And that makes me want to ask you, like, why do you want her to apologize? What does that do for you? Because the left is always asking people to, you better apologize and walk back what you said. But whenever anyone does that...
Because saying the N-word is racist, harmful, and overall stupid. Shit.
It doesn't matter.
I actually
They still hate them.
I don't care about her at all and didn't know about her. But in seeing this story go viral, others seem to want her to apologize because, and this is an argument I do agree with, people shouldn't be using, or to put it better because that'll confuse you,
Why? 'Cause I'm stupid?
we should disagree. Your word, not mine.
I was gonna say something there, and then that would have been too mean. That would have been too mean. Yes, she is stupid. All right, let's continue.
We should disagree with people using racial slurs. Now, what's being discussed here? No, gosh.
She's
What a
not talking
crazy
about black
position.
people. She's saying like broke guys. It's just a word. She's not literally being these broke
And-
black men. No, it's just brokies, like broke guys.
I don't have to explain to you the meaning and history of that word. I think
She knows she's talking about black men. Can't think today. Just woke up. She knows what she's talking about. She doesn't care. She's snakishly trying to hide her language. She's being a snake right now.
You understand why people take issue with it.
Please
That's
mansplain
why,
it to me.
That's why you like
Yeah.
that this is sort
She's weaponizing the word mansplain here. A lot of people do this, both on the left and right. They will weaponize their identity. Seems to be like the most craziest people possible will just weaponize their identities. Like, if you ever see a gay Republican and you disagree with them, they will scream from the rooftops about their identity. And then like claim that they don't care about their identity when it is their most powerful weapon in their arsenal, according to them. And they will use it constantly. Alright, let's continue.
of why she went viral, because people are outraged, because there's a reason to be outraged. But here, we're talking about the government, as I told you in the other episode, not infringing on your free speech rights. And of course, you can have sort of the spirit of free speech. So platforms should do their best to protect people's freedom of speech. But all you're talking about in so many situations, and what sells this MAGA line of we're the free speech warriors when we're not, is that you don't think other people should use their free speech to take issue with you.
Yes,
Yeah, if on Elon Musk's Twitter, if you use the word cis, you are flagged and shadow banned, basically. Like, they do not want people to use their own freedom of speech. It's freedom of speech for me, but not for thee, basically. Alright.
I do. We talked
So
about
then
this
what's the
last
problem?
time.
Exactly,
There's
that's
no
what I'm saying.
problem.
Okay, then what's
You
been
can
done wrong with her?
criticize it. I love when people criticize the things I say. I think it's funny. That's why my posts go viral.
But
Thank
again,
you.
we
Thank
just
you, crazy
watched
leftists.
this video.
Yeah?
Let's watch it again.
Okay.
So,
It's not crazy to criticize you. You're just being sensitive. You're just being sensitive. Let's continue.
recent video of mine seems to have upset members of a certain community, and all the backlash just really made me, just really do a deep dive, like do a soul search. And after all that,
What is she saying? The backlash is why
She's-
she finds
Members, when she says members of a certain community, she either means leftist or black people. Because she used the N-word, and most normal people, or I want to say all normal people, are not okay with anyone using that word. Only the most far-right crazies would be okay with it.
finds it relevant to say the First Amendment. What? The backlash is free speech represented.
I cannot believe that people actually hold this opinion. This is an entire new thought process regarding the First Amendment that I've ever heard in my entire life. She's just kind of being like, hey, F you guys. I don't care what you guys have to say. Like, I'm doubling down. I don't really care. She's not saying, I cannot believe I have backlash. We should censor all this backlash speech against me. That's not what she's
not saying that.
No one has ever
But
said you
when-
cannot criticize
No,
what we say.
but
No one
when-
has ever said
but
that
when,
ever.
When all of you cry about the left being for censorship, the
We cry.
majority of what you're talking about is people disagreeing with your speech, which is their speech, which is fine.
No, people, at least
People
from-
got mad at her, and now she's going, oh, they must be against free speech. That's why she's putting that quote.
yes,
they're
because
disagreeing
they're mad that she said a word that they today in society you
hold on
can't
to that.
say.
Hold on to that. You just exhibited the principle.
Yeah, because in a normal society, you shouldn't be using harmful rhetoric. I want to know, does she think it's okay to say fire in a crowded theater? Or does she not agree with that? Because, like, the Constitution says it's not okay to say fire in a crowded theater. Would she disagree with the Constitution? I think she probably would, honestly. Honestly, I think she would.
I'm talking about. You're saying,
Okay, please.
see? Do you
Please,
understand?
No, I don't, because you're not making any sense.
She's upset that people were upset at her, and then cites
She's not
the First Amendment.
upset.
You're saying
She's
that the people.
joking. She's like,
Nope, she's upset. She's absolutely upset. I swear. Christ.
she's like, oh, I don't care if you guys are upset. I'm gonna still do what I'm gonna do. She's not upset. No one's crying.
You argued just like 5-10 seconds ago that people are against free speech. You said they are because they were mad at her. Do you remember saying that?
Yes, they're against free speech because they don't want her to say it. The reason why she went viral is for saying
They're
nigga.
using their free speech.
She's not mad at them for the backlash.
Oh my gosh,
they're
we're
mad
going
at
in
her for using
circles.
the word.
This is mind-numbing.
I cannot believe there's people in
Please.
this country that think this way.
No. This is crazy.
I feel like I'm talking to Joe Biden.
This is absolutely stupid. They are mad. She is mad at people for using their free speech to criticize her. Freedom of speech does not equal freedom of consequences. You should not be using the N-word. Let's continue. This is basic fucking knowledge, but for some reason, it's not.
Biden here.
I don't understand how you aren't hearing what I'm saying.
Because we just think so differently, and that shows because I can't understand how you don't think how I think.
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm being correct.
You're saying, okay.
No, she's not. She's not being correct. She's being wrong, blatantly, obviously, and unequivocally wrong.
Hopefully the audience understands the point.
Oh, your audience, obviously.
Or any audience.
Yeah.
I think most people who are able to tie their shoes understand that that
Can she tie her shoes? Probably, honestly. I don't want to insult this woman too much. I do think her policies and politics are reprehensible, horrible, awful, demonic. I do think she's a demon in human skin. Let's continue.
using one's free speech to get upset at someone else's speech is as American as apple pie.
I don't disagree with you. What are you talking about?
Then stop saying the people who don't want her to use racial slurs are against freedom of speech.
Because they're the only reason she went viral was because she used that one word that we're not allowed to use in society. So
You're allowed to, and then we're allowed.
Yeah, you can say the word. People will just be mad because people understand the history and it's not polite to use that word. It's like, for example, I don't know. Let me think of an example. Yelling fire in a crowded theater. We're just gonna use that example. Or like going to the store, spilling mayonnaise all over the floor and running around in it. I don't know. You can certainly do that. You can probably not. I think that's illegal. But like there is going to be consequences. No one's going to stop you from doing it. But they're going to call the police if you lather yourself in mayonnaise and run across this. I don't know. I just woke up. Okay.
Allowed to be mad at you for it.
Yes, that's okay. She got banned off
boom.
TikTok.
So
cool.
The backlash was fine.
Cool.
Okay.
Who cares? It's a word. Does the word make you feel any like?
Because
I don't get
words
it.
are one of the most powerful things that we have.
A polite society does not use the N-word. That's just common knowledge, I fear. Or it should be. It should be common knowledge, but apparently it's not. I don't want to use the word common sense because common sense is just our collective biases and prejudice. And my common sense can be completely different from yours, from your neighbors, from my neighbors. Common sense varies from person to person, so It's not really common. We all have our unique common sense. That's because we're all unique people. Alright, let's continue.
Everything. Wars are started with words. It's fine to understand the gravity that can be attached to certain words.
Okay, well,
When you do the it's just words argument, all of a sudden our entire system of communication becomes irrelevant.
Yeah, if you say, say for example, Donald Trump says, I am going to invade Mexico. And then he just kind of sits in the White House, and Mexico will take those words seriously. They'll take it as a threat to invade, because it is. And they will likely retaliate. If you say something, and if you communicate something, then yeah, people are going to respond to what you're communicating. That is the crux of language. That is the basics of Did she fail English class? Probably. Let's continue.
Let me ask you, would you rather be shot or be shot at with words? Would you rather be literally a gun in front of you, physical violence, be fired, or would you rather or would you rather just have someone say something about you? Hey, hey, does that offend you?
I'm devastated.
I know. Well, you are a liberal, so.
Here's more of Lily. What's her face?
I don't think I've seen this one.
What's up, Compound Center? I am so happy to be here. I have listened to, I've been a baby monster myself for years prior to the N-word kerfuffle, where I was quickly launched into the internet sphere, into the Twitter sphere, and deemed as the most hated woman on the internet, as far as some losers and their assessments of me online have said. Anyway, I wanted to get right into it. So we obviously have to start with the N-word. Okay, that's a huge part of the story apparently, because the worst thing with wars going on, with children being trafficked, with millions of babies being aborted through abortion every year, the main thing we should be focused on is a white girl who says the N-word, because of course that's the worst thing that's ever.
People can focus on multiple different things all at once. You can make multiple different videos in a day. She knows this, she doesn't care. And also, some war is good. The war in Ukraine is literally stopping Russia from absolutely taking over Ukraine. I will be going over more of the war later, hopefully. But that is a future thing that should be left to the future until it arrives. Anyway, people can focus on different things. And war, like the genocide going on in Gaza, is not good, but the war in Ukraine is literally stopping Russia from taking over. Although, I'm pretty sure she would support Russia taking Ukraine. Probably. Let's continue.
Who's arguing the main thing we should be focusing on is that?
That's a fair point. That is a fair point. To her, you have to know, and I know this too from personal experience, when you have something that you've said that's offensive that blows up, you feel like that's the only thing everyone will ever talk about ever again. I know I felt that with certain videos that went viral in the past, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my world is ending. I just need to never be on social media again. So I think I agree with you. No one said that, but to her, it's the only thing that's happening. So more common ground. We need to stop this.
Because of course that's the worst thing that's ever happened on planet Earth, in fact. When in fact, all it was me saying a casual term, broke ass, and actually referring to using the word in the way it's meant as dude, or hey you, something like that. You get what I'm coming from. Of course,
nobody uses the N-word as just a hey you. Nobody uses the N-word as a hello. We don't when we're greeting each other, we do not say the N-word. We say hello or hi.
People
See, I'm so smart. I didn't need to have this explanation from her to get where she said what she said.
Racist narrative about this racist.
No, you're just racist. That's why you didn't need the racism explained. Because you're racist. It's not smart. It's not smart. It's the lack of smart, actually.
Southern trad wife, which is all completely wrong except for the southern part. I mean, I am a little racist, aren't we all? But racism is actually a good thing. It's like self-preservation. It's like the reason why.
I mean, yeah, we all have our own biases and internal racism. We all can exhibit racism, but it is not a self-preservation thing. And also, that's not even a good argument because we are well beyond the need for self-preservation. We have cars, we have guns. We can fight. We have a civilization, we have houses. We don't need to preserve ourselves by slaughtering everyone who looks different from us. This is just racism.
Why gazelles are afraid of lions, not because they're racist against lions, because they've noticed a pattern that certain cultures.
Hey, listen.
I'm listening.
They've noticed a pattern, people. A pattern. This is just racism. It's just racism all the way through. It's just 1350ing. She's just trying to 1350, but without the 1350. If you don't know what the 1350 is, it is a Nazi slogan or line stating that while black people only make up 13% of the population, they supposedly do 50% of the crime, even though that's not true. Nazis and racists will still use it for their own purposes. They will lie. It is a lie.
See if this makes sense. So far, does that make sense to you? Is that analogy strong?
Let's keep going.
Okay, gazelles to lions.
It's lions because they've noticed a pattern that certain cultures, certain species do not go well together, you know? And there are certain races that just don't like each other and they don't do well. And the internet is full of videos, although it's...
That analogy is so stupid and so racist that it's like, fucking hell. How can someone believe that? Like, actually, how could someone fucking believe that? Let's continue.
They're working overtime to try to scrub them off the internet of videos of black people, of Muslims attacking white Christian people. So that's the real narrative, but that's not the one that the left wants to spin. And the woke
People will attack people no matter the race or gender. People who want to do bad things will not care. They will attack indiscriminately.
woke mob wants to run with.
See, this would have been so much funnier if she used like all the racial slurs for all the groups she just mentioned. That would have been really funny and
You're
on
so
brand for her.
gross.
I know, I'm so gross. No, I mean, listen, I don't agree. They're not like different races are not different species. Come on,
This is
That's-
crazy.
that-
Did you teach her some stuff since the last episode?
But I want to make a point. There is a difference
Who thought
between.
people can't change?
Okay, no, this has always been my belief. There's cultural differences. So Jamaicans are different than Black Americans. There's a completely different culture than. So it's not about race. It's about the culture. Even like white people that live in like the New York City ghettos. It's like the that's what they call themselves. Yeah, completely different cultures. So.
Are you able to speak just as a normal person
What do you mean?
without all of these? Where do you find all these terms?
Wait, I want to touch on one thing that she said. Culture is different all across the globe. You could take a black person from England and a black person from America. There has been interactions like that. The black people from England will ask where the black people from America are from, and like will not like stop until they give an answer other than America or a state in America. When the reality is most black people in America don't know like what African country they are from, because they were brought here by slave owners to be slaves. They do not know that history, like the history of before they were in slavery, because the people in slavery, the people in who were slaves, were not able to read. Like, they were not allowed to learn or to be human, be treated as human. They were not seen as human. And when you are beaten down, taken from your home, and like generations go on, you forget, and you have to build anew. Alright, let's continue.
I don't know. I read. Do you?
You read.
Just kidding. I don't. I'm a woman. I can't read. I don't know. This is just what I know.
I think you're so afraid. You're so afraid
So scared.
to look yourself in the mirror and blame yourself for your failures. You remember this?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Like, you're just projecting onto all women.
Yeah. So it's become easier for you to insult half the population.
Oh yeah.
To say, oh, all women must be like me. I promise they're not. Most aren't.
Yeah. No, I strive to insult actually 69% of the population. So get that number correct. I know you don't like to know the stats here,
LOL.
but I mean, I don't. Like I said last time, I don't take things that seriously.
Really top tier humor coming from this woman. Her jokes are really stupid. How long have we been going? We've been going for 33 minutes. Alright. Resume here.
When I got into the right wing in 2016, it was about three things: hating women, being racist, being anti-Semitic.
So funny.
Those were the three things.
He's not lying here. Nick Fuentes is literally like a giant piece of shit. Recently, he made a very dystopian speech about controlling women's bodies and saying your body, his choice, and all that bullshit. Alright.
Do you think he's being partly serious?
No.
He definitely is. He is mostly serious, actually, I would argue. But I know she's not going to understand that. She doesn't care. Either she doesn't believe that he is serious, or she doesn't care if he is partly serious. But he is.
You think all this is a joke?
Yes,
Even
because
though
I remember politics in 2016. It was not like that at all. Things have gotten more extreme on the right side of things as a result of everything going so crazy left. That was not a thing in 2016.
Why?
It was. Racism has always been existent. People have always been racist. There's always been bad actors in both sides of the aisle. For example, like we're watching a example of racism on the left. Not left. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. Okay. We're watching an example of racism on the right, and I want to touch on a piece of racism on the left. Shark300, lovely content creator. But he was in a backlash a few months ago because people were calling him the sea slur. And I think her name is Jessie Gender. liked a tweet about Shark, basically calling him a house slave for Vosh because he wasn't siding with the tanky side of the left. It's complicated. There's videos on it. I recommend you go look at them. Shark made a really good video on it, on the attacks towards him. Highly recommend you you look at Shark's content. He doesn't post often because he has a part-time job, and YouTube isn't as profitable for him as other people, and he isn't quite big enough for YouTube to be profitable and be a full-time job yet. But hopefully he gets there. Let's continue.
Full 90-minute Nick Fuentes trash. And
You've watched more Nick Fuentes than me, you little groiper.
And well,
Wow.
how do you think we prepare the show? We have to go find things and talk about clips. And so in doing that, he's very serious about these anti-Semitic, racist, sexist views.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously he's serious. She doesn't care about that, though. She doesn't... I don't want to keep repeating myself. But she doesn't care. She knows. Either she knows or she's stupid. But I want to be... I'm going to be charitable and just say she's stupid.
I don't think your defense on everything... You don't have to defend him. You could just denounce him. But given that you find him really just lovable...
I find him lovable.
I don't know if saying this is all just for jokes.
Wow, so the couple times I've retweeted him, because the clip that I was retweeting I found funny, and now all of a sudden I find him lovable. I don't find any man lovable besides my husband, okay? So stop putting those words into my mouth.
Okay.
Rolls eyes.
That the 2016 revolution...
His little ear was wet because he drinks water from the base of the fountain, and it all spills on him. Now my mouth is wet. Well, kinda. I dried it off. Anyway, back to Fucknut. Or Fuentes, sorry.
was all...
Here's why I'm asking you about this. Okay?
Yeah,
Stop,
you remembered?
Stop.
You
Again,
remembered?
you little victim.
Yeah. I'm such a victim. Oh my gosh, I'm crying.
I remembered. I'm done. Just
Yeah, the right will cry censorship. If we just watched an example of the right crying censorship when people took issue with her screaming the N-word. The right loves to be victims.
trying to explain it. It takes a lot to explain with you. So
Okay.
he is the French. How do you... You're saying
Yes, he is the French,
MAGA is extreme already. You're saying you're more
not.
extreme than MAGA, right?
Yeah.
So where else do you go other than you're here?
No, I know. I would say I'm like in between. I don't know everything he says.
Okay,
That's the
okay.
thing. I would say I'm
Right, so we're figuring it out here.
stricter on abortion than Trump is.
Okay.
You know, I think Trump celebrates homosexuality.
She's an evangelical, basically. Like, a lot of evangelicals are Nazis, but not all of them. And not all Nazis are evangelicals either. But she is just, I guess, base evangelical. I don't know if about her like religious beliefs. I'm talking more about like the political side of evangelicism, because there are two types of evangelicism. One that is mostly religion and one that is mostly politics. And they share the same name, so it can be confusing if you don't know which one someone's talking about. But there are two different distinct types, often overlapping.
and all these like woke things way too much.
Celebrate.
I don't even know. I mean, Trump like champions the fact that I was the first sitting president to come into office who supported gay marriage. Like Obama didn't even do that during his first term. So like he champions that because he's trying to appeal to like the more like woke, like big tent Republican idea. So I don't know everything Nick says, but I definitely am on the side of let's joke to the right and make like racist funny jokes instead of being like the conservatives that will like dress as a transgender person and like wear a skirt like Alex Stein and think that that's funny. Like you're not allowed to joke to the right. You're only allowed to joke to the left because believe it or not,
because it influences the Overton window. That's why joking to the right normalizes and makes a joke out of real policies. If you are joking about screaming the N-word at the top of your lungs, for example, it normalizes screaming the N-word at the top of your lungs. Eventually, people will just be screaming the N-word. And that's what she wants. That's what she wants. She wants a society where people just are as racist as her. Let's continue. My cat just meowed at me. He's so cute.
not people on the right succumb to a lot of the woke left narrative because deep down
Maybe it's because
they
people
want
are
their
just
approval.
hungry somewhere deep down for decency. And it would be nice to
Men
just be
wearing dresses
in
is decency?
No, to be in a more generally compassionate society would be nice. And so prioritizing and
Yeah, people want to be nice to each other. I do think the core of humanity is neither good nor bad, but our actions can dictate our outcomes. Humans are just animals. We live in a society, and the fact is that though the actions we take dictate how other people will see us. You know? It's complicated. I'll get into it in a different video, actually. Alright, let's go.
incentivizing hateful humor is less in vogue, which I think is fine.
I'm literally the most compassionate person online. That's why many people call me the Mother Teresa of our time. And that's not my words.
No, I don't think she's the most compassionate person. I don't think advocating for people being allowed to say the N-word is compassion. I think it is hate. She's not the most hateful, but I think she might be up there.
That's everyone else's words.
Okay.
It's true.
Was all about. That's what the online right was about. That's what the right wing on Twitter was all about. It was about being sexist, being racist, being anti-Semitic. And I thought everybody was on the same page. As time has gone on, however, the only thing that they remain is racist, and that's it. They're not anti-Semitic. They're not sexist. They just beat up on blacks and Indians all the time. And it's almost making me sympathetic. It's like, guys, we gotta shit on women too.
Look he's trying to take some of the heat off blacks and Indians. How could you be upset about this?
Jesus Christ. He's advocating for more hate. And she's defending that under the guise of just joking. In reality, a lot of jokes have an air of truth to them. Like, a lot of comedy starts off as a grain of truth that can be overblown to comedic proportions. Like, say a comedian talks about how, his life sucks and he wants to, take himself out. And, really overplays the latter part. And, he really overplays the bit. And, it's funny because, everyone can, a lot of people can relate because the economic rut we're in and people can barely afford groceries. Biden was fixing that slowly, but he wasn't fast enough, and now Trump is in office, and he's going to fuck our economy.
What is your issue with blacks and Indians?
How about we just don't hate on any group because of their identity?
True. We shouldn't hate on people. Yes. Hate is bad. The only people we should hate on are right-wingers. We should hate on the right wing. Because we can weaponize that hate against the right. And hopefully get a Democrat in office in 2028 if we have another election. That's a big if.
You're hating on my identity because I'm a MAGA.
No, I'm
MAGA person.
I'm hating on your ideology.
Ideas. Oh, okay. So I knew exactly what he was going to say. Honestly, I was just thinking.
You guessed wrong. But.
Yeah, I was in high school in 2016 when Trump won. Like, I don't know the online political sphere at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I was, I just wasn't on Twitter, Reddit, all these things. But I would say today, in my opinion, I feel like things are ramping up in the offensive joke arena.
And that's good to you.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Why not just actually stand for something, do something, whatever? We already talked about that.
Yeah, you can literally tweet the N-word now. It's amazing. Times are good. It's a word. Get over it. Stop being the victim on behalf.
She knows the harm of the word. You could see. Wait.
Do something, whatever. We already talked about that.
Yeah, you can literally tweet the N-word now. It's amazing.
You can see that smug smile poke on her lips just a little. Alright, let's resume. Alright, we're only gonna watch a little more of this. This is over an hour. This is like getting to be an hour-long video.
Times are good.
That smile. That smile. You can see the
tweet
smile.
The N-word now.
Right?
It's amazing. Times are good.
So, look, smug ass smile right there. She's smiling. She knows what she's doing. She knows the effect of it. She knows the harm she's causing, and she's smiling. She's grinning, teeth wide, teeth bared, like a freaking.
It's a word. Get over it. Stop being the victim on behalf of black people.
You're the one who does
you
that.
white liberal.
Why?
Malcolm X hated people like you.
Can platforms not have a term of service that says, hey, we're going to just say no slurs so that it's a welcoming environment for people?
They can, but let me tell you, when I posted that video, which I regret, of my baby babbling word, like, she didn't even say it, but it kind of sounded like it. So that was not okay. But then I could have a bunch of people flooding. I just kissed the mic by accident. I'm sorry. I just had a bunch of people flooding the responses, largely black people, saying they were going to come and find and kill my baby. Like, we literally went to a coffee place.
That's not good. You should not be threatening people on any political side of the aisle. You should make fun of them. Sure, you should make fun of people like her. And call her a snowflake when she says that she's being canceled and being censored, but you should not advocate for the slaughter of her baby. That is not good. Don't threaten people. It's Internet etiquette 101. Or at least it should be.
Near our house, and he I need to make sure my gun's on me just in case, because it was so bad that we were literally afraid that we were gonna have someone try.
If any of y'all who eventually see this threaten someone, I'm just gonna kick you out. You're gonna be gone. I will not put up with it. I will state this right here, right now, even as small as I am with 53 subscribers. If any of y'all ever threaten someone on the right or the left for their policy or for any dumb shit they've said or posted, you will immediately be kicked.
Try to pull up and kill us. Is that
So
okay? Death
they
threats are okay?
should
but
not-
I can't say the N-word?
No, they shouldn't. What do you think I'm going to say? Yeah, that's okay, but don't say
Is
the
it?
N-word? No, of course not. See?
Okay. Death threats or N-word? Pick one, go.
Don't
What?
do either.
What? Pick one. You can only have you can deny both. You can say don't say the N-word. Don't make death threats. These are not mutually exclusive ideas. Okay. All right. We're gonna keep going.
That's not an option.
Yes, it is. It always is. It's always an option. Always. You can always just say no. Always.
Yeah, I made it an option.
We should do a smash, marry, kill game, but with all racial
Option
slurs,
C.
and then you have to pick which one.
What?
You're just swimming in a...
Now you're saying swimming, that's a stereotype against black people. They can't even swim. You're really going to use that? You see how racist
Alright, that's
he is?
just...
What the
Come
fuck?
on. This internalized racism is insane.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
What, now we're going to talk
the-
about watermelon and grape soda?
Alright, can we take a break?
Alright. Alright, that's all we needed to see. Honestly, this is where we're gonna cut it off. Like, subscribe, comment. This was a fucking shit show at the end. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.